Okay, welcome YouTube. This is my week 3 update, and this week I haven't noticed anything majorly good. In fact, if anything, my psoriasis seems to be flaring up in some places. So we'll go through a bit of a skin update first, and then I'll take you through the week. So as you can see, the chest psoriasis is plucking up pretty good. As it seems to be spreading a fair bit. And then with the patches on the back, you can see patches on the back sort of seem to be just getting worse and spreading. Psoriasis on my head, patch up here that goes all the way along there, and then the actual patches through my head are getting worse, definitely flared up. And then these sort of plucks here. And then the spots all over my back as well. Definitely getting worse and spreading, but that was to be expected at this stage. Through other people's videos that I've seen, this is the same kind of thing that they've gone through. So I was very much expecting that, and I'm happy to keep going along with it, with the idea that it should get better. So I'll just chuck this back on quickly. It's a little bit cold. Alright, so in terms of this week, once again, I found this week quite tough with maintaining the diet. The first week was probably the easiest thus far, and that was purely, I think my motivation was very high, be doing a lot of research, watching a lot of videos. And because my motivation was high, I think that first week just was easier because of that. I had everything in place. In that second week, as I mentioned on my other video, I did have a few hiccups with eating junk food a couple of times, and this week I've had the same thing where I've eaten Subway once and caved into some chocolate and some pizza shapes as well. So unfortunately, it hasn't been the perfect week, but I've still pretty much maintained that really good diet. But going forward into the next week, I am going to be looking into eliminating some of the things like red meats. And I just want it to be a gradual process. So I know that a lot of people swear by the full, either the Paleo AIP, which is the autoimmune protocol diet, which is a stricter version of Paleo. And then there's other people that swear by the full vegan plant-based diet, which makes a lot of sense to me. I just want to see what works for me first. But, if I don't get results by, say, week 8, after about 2 months of doing this, and the psoriasis either seems to be getting worse or not any better, then I will look to push into that. But at the moment, I'm sort of on a paleo, and the next step to that will be to go paleo AIP. So the things that I'm doing at the moment is that I'm still eating red meat, I'm still eating nuts, which are 2 things that are excluded, and I'm eating eggs. Now, I am considering doing a sort of an allergens test, just to see if there are any foods through a test that I can find out that I already have a pre-existing allergy to, because I think that might help. And I'm also going to talk to the doctor about getting some bloods and just some general screening, so that statistically and scientifically and medically we have a starting point with some stats, and by the end of it, if it's all successful and the psoriasis has got into remission and all that kind of thing, then it'd be really nice to see what the stats stack up against in the future as well, because I think there are way too many doctors and people at the moment that are kind of laugh in your face when you say that this can be dealt with a diet. But there are too many people out there who have done exactly that, and because of that, I think it'd be good to have some more stats and things like that, something that might be able to be able to be used for medical research later. So in terms of anything else this week, I've got nothing else to report other than the psoriasis sort of getting worse and sort of itchier. But bearing in mind that I'm not using any creams or any oils or anything for the skin, and I've done that specifically because I really wanted to see whether the diet alone was going to be the thing that fixed it. I didn't want to be using creams in that and not know whether it was the diet or the creams that fixed the problem. So, or certainly made it go into remission anyway. So that's that. But besides that, there's nothing really else to report. I'm hoping that this next week's going to be much easier. Keeping the fluids up, drinking lots of mineral water, have still not been drinking any soft drink, which is amazing for me. And, you know, certainly nowhere near as much junk food or any of that kind of stuff as I was doing before. I've got myself a few things for the garden, which are some fresh herbs, and some lettuce and baby spinach and things that are growing. So I've been eating those things fresh from the garden, which is fantastic. And it keeps me motivated to, you know, want to eat those things when I'm sort of growing them. I'm not a green thumb. I've never ever planted anything before. The only thing that I've ever had that was plantation before was a cactus that I was given as a house gift. And I remember specifically on the cactus it's saying that it thrives on neglect. But obviously it didn't thrive on the neglect that I gave it because it died, and I must be the only person in the world that's done that. So I'm having a good time with this stuff. And so I'd just like to say that in terms of trying to choose a time that's really good to start this kind of journey of changing your whole lifestyle with your food and everything like that, no time is good for anybody. I've watched a lot of videos of a lot of other people, read a lot of blogs and that kind of thing, and one thing that I always find interesting is that later on in their process they may mention a few things, but early on I find there's not much mention of what's going on in their lives and that kind of thing. It sort of leaves a bit of ambiguity around, you know, was it an easy time for them, was it the right time, and that kind of thing. So just to put it into perspective, I've got a newborn baby that's only 4 months old, so in terms of sleep deprivation and a lot of my focus, time and energy being on one thing at the moment, it's on that, it's our first, and it's very busy. So in terms of that, that's kind of something that I could have used as an excuse to not do it now, to put it off until next month or next year or something like that. But I decided to make sure that now's the time to do it. I run my own businesses. Obviously, with that comes a lot of busyness and stress and that kind of stuff. So with the sleep deprivation, the constant headaches, the psoriasis being what it is, and anybody that's got it at all, but especially if you've got it covering a fair big chunk of you, you'll find that you don't find a lot of motivation to get out and about in the sun with your just t-shirt and shorts and all that kind of stuff. So it does make it hard, but I've definitely made sure that this was something I'm not using as an excuse to not do it now. So I do hope that that message gets across to anybody who's watching this and maybe thinking, oh well, I'll do it next week, or I'll do it next month. I've got too much on at the moment, and that kind of thing. I don't think any time is the right time, to be honest. Everybody's always got something on, and there'll always be excuses. But I've said in an earlier video, like, I'm definitely just a normal guy who's, you know, just logging this via video so that anybody who wants to see it can. But, you know, nothing in my life is extraordinary. I do have busy things on. I do have plenty of reasons why I don't, or might not want to do this. But I'm definitely, you know, decided when I made the decision to do it, it was taking into consideration all those things as well. And that's why there's been a couple of those slip-ups here and there, because sometimes you just can't avoid it. Now, as I get better and I get stronger throughout the process, I know that I'll be able to say no easier to those things, and you know, but I'm taking it, I guess, as a gradual process, even though I want to see quicker results, which is something that so far all I've seen is my psoriasis getting worse. So I just really wanted to get that message out there. But you know, thank you very much for watching the video. If you have, tell your friends, and we'll see you next week with more information. Thank you very much.